let's move our focus and take a look at the financial news driving the Nigerian fixed income market. And for that, we are joined by Iyobosa Evbosomon. She's the head fixed income trading at Dunn Loren Merrifield. It's good to have you on the show, Iyobosa. Now let's start by talking about the WDAS auction today. I know that $300 million was an offer and you had $300 million sold. So give us some more insight into that and also your outlook for the week.
Okay, at the WDAS session today, CBN offered 300 million and sold about 300 million at an effective rate of 157.3, right? Going into the week, what I expect to see is as an offshoot of what happened last week, where we saw the significant appreciation of about ₦1 on the FX market, where this was due to oil companies, oil majors like the likes of Shell, NNPC, selling a total volume of about 400 million into the market. So that contributed to a significant appreciation of the FX market from 158.5565 levels to about 157.5565 levels. And from then up until now, market has traded round about those levels. Going into this week, I expect to see some form of retracement on the exchange rates. I expect to see a market trending back to about 158 levels. Reason being that we do not have significant inflows from the oil majors this week. We have just about NNPC selling about 100 million tomorrow, and we also have the WDAS session. However, with the constant demand from importers and airliners, we expect that market should naturally trend back up to 158 levels. Should it go beyond this, should it go to about 159 levels, we might see the CBN having some form of intervention.
Okay, now let's talk about the OMO auction today. It had 100 billion naira offered, 102 billion sold, so it was oversubscribed. Throw some light into the auction today.
Yes, at the auction today on the Treasury bills end, CBN offered about 100 million and sold about 102 million at 12% discount rate. Now, what we have witnessed over time, I mean, following trend, is that most often than not, discount rates at the OMO auction are typically higher than the primary auction. So you might see investors, both the local investors, typically tending towards the OMO auction in terms of their preference as against the primary auction. That's why most often than not, we see that at the primary auction, you see discount rates trending between 11 to 11.2 across the different maturities.
Okay, now a continuation on liquidity tightening expected this week. It would be good if you could talk us through the Treasury bill and OMO auctions and maturities that you expect to see this week.
For the OMO auction, we have about 389 billion. For the Treasury bills auction, we have about 389 billion maturing this week, out of which about 183 billion is actually from the primary market auction. What we expect to see is that coming Wednesday, there will be an offer at the primary market auction for about 183 billion of Treasury bills cutting across different maturities. So effectively, market should be up at about a net of 155 billion this week.
Now, we saw yields in the TBill space coming up substantially last week, especially on the June 13 and July 13 maturities. So I think a lot of people are expecting some profit-taking this week. So give us an update on yields in the TBill space today.
Market really traded flat today. We did not really see significant activities in the Treasury bills market. Reason being that I would want to think that in terms of appetite for these instruments has sort of chilled out across investor base. And that's why we see that we do not experience enough activities today. However, because of the inflows that will probably hit the market today, we intend to see some form of buying on the shorter end of the curve. Now, this might not necessarily be at the primary auction. It might be at the OMO auction, which the CBN has consistently done on a week-on-week basis.
Okay, now there's also CBN's plans to issue a total of 948 billion naira in Treasury bills this quarter. Of course, last quarter we saw 826 billion issued. It would be good to give us some more insight into the expectations in quarter two, or the outlook for the quarter in terms of auctions and maturities.
For quarter two, like you rightly said, we have about above 900 billion that would currently be issued. Now, the total treasury bills that are being issued are in line with government borrowing. So I think whatever we see, whatever in terms of summation of bills that will be offered, that we see on a quarterly basis actually feeds from the total government borrowing that should be done this year. So yes, we expect that for this quarter, the CBN will issue about 928 billion.